There are players in the league with alleged ties to gangs, and sadly, some of them choose to align themselves after becoming part of the league. As such, below are NFL players who are allegedly linked to various games. Jason Avant. Avant openly admits to being part of a gang and dealing drugs in his neighborhood when he was growing up. He also openly admits that he was one of, quote, the worst gang members and drug dealers ever. Not because he was being a badass, but because it wasn't natural to him despite his surroundings, and it never felt right. His grandmother had a major influence on him and used her strong sense of faith to help him get away from the life her two children had been driven to. After dealing drugs and bringing home $1,000 a day, sometimes as a sixth grader, Avant was able to turn it around and make the NFL thanks to his grandmother never giving up on him. These days, Avant does what he can to improve his community and help youth avoid struggles through faith in God and faith in themselves to become something better. Marvin Harrison. Harrison may be the quietest athlete on this list, and has not really been known for gang-related activity while on the football field or growing up. However, he was in a pretty high-profile murder case right before the end of his career involving two shootings of the same victim, resulting in a brutal, close-up death of the victim. It began at Harrison's bar in Philadelphia called Playmakers, when the victim, who was allegedly a known drug dealer, came into the bar to talk to Harrison, and it turned into an argument. Harrison followed the man out of the bar, and shots were fired at the victim, hitting him in the hand. A year or so later, the victim was featured on ESPN 60 and claimed on TV that Harrison had shot him, and he would probably kill him for saying it. Just a few short weeks later, the victim, Dwight "Pop" Dixon, was gunned down in his car just a block away from Harrison's bar. In both shootings, the bullet casings matched a gun owned by Harrison, and the video camera from his bar just happened to be turned off for 3 minutes at the time of the fatal shooting. The case is still open, and no one's been found guilty of the murder yet. Harrison comes from a very rough background with multiple gang ties. We're barely scraping the surface here, though, and suggest you do some more research yourself because it really is a curious and interesting case. Adam "Pac-Man" Jones. Jones has had so many off-field issues no one is keeping count anymore. He's been mentioned as a suspect in multiple gang-affiliated homicides and shootings in Atlanta, along with a few other areas. Basically, when Jones causes trouble in a club or bar, there seems to be a shooting at the same place almost immediately after. He's then named by and seen with members of the international robbing crew of Atlanta, who went on a murder spree that increased the murder rate in Atlanta by 20%. According to an article on ESPN, which documents a timeline of the off-field issues Jones would have had throughout his career, it mentions a testimony from a member of the IRC, who would eventually be indicted for 3 counts of murder, claimed that he had seen and heard Jones tell another member of the IRC he would pay him to shoot the man he had just argued with, and they agreed on a payment. If any of this is true, it's pretty much incredible that he's not in prison at this point. Aaron Hernandez. We all know this guy would be number 1 on the list, although Criterion was close to number 1 because he killed a mother of 4 on accident when trying to kill the rival gang member who robbed him. Hernandez, on the other hand, had simply thought he was untouchable and decided to murder multiple people over the last 3 to 5 years while still maintaining a high level of play on the field. He had the potential to be one of the best tight ends and win multiple Super Bowls with the Patriots. Instead, he decided to stick with his criminal lifestyle and act as if he could not be touched. He's already been convicted for the murder of Odin Lloyd and is on trial for the murder of 2 other men from a couple of years ago in Boston. It's known that he's a member of the Bristol Bloods gang, and since his life sentence, he's added a new tattoo boasting a 5-point star with the word "lifetime" above it. This is given by his gang for the life sentence he'll be serving. He's also been involved with multiple prison fights and continues to show his loyalty to the gang. He threw away millions of dollars while stealing the life of 3 people because he had to show he was a tough gangster.